So we are now back in the warm after a very busy week netting again. This time we were in Wrexham at Commonwood, which is a fishery that Andy's been involved with from the start, so I know he enjoys just going back to see their progress every year. And ever since I've been working with Andy, I've been going there every year, and it's coming on leaps and bounds. This time they've really developed the sort of catering side of it, and the sort of a burger bar they've got there, pizza oven, and nice sort of outdoor seating, and lots of areas that you can book for parties to go and sort of have a nice sort of outdoor holiday, really. So it's really come on a lot. Every year we go back there and see the new developments, and obviously our job is that we're there to correct the biomass and check up on the fish, move some fish around the site. It's a complex of lakes there, so there's big carp lakes, big specimen lakes, runs waters, match lakes, all sorts. It sort of caters for everyone up there. So we go out there every year, correct the biomass, remove silvers. Very productive clay ponds again, very open, like lots of light and air getting into the surface of the water. So they're very productive, very fertile. The recruitment's very good. Loads and loads of silvers every year to remove to make sure they're safe with oxygen through the summer. Obviously this is the time of year where water quality and oxygen is going to be very stable, so through the summer it's a different story. So if you've got volumes of tiny little silver fry, they need to come out in the winter so you avoid problems in the summer and keep the fishing consistent. So we went up there this week while I could. I've knackered my ankle last week playing rugby again, so I was a bit busier on the camera this week, so I managed to get a bit of footage to show you exactly what Commonwood offers, what the stock looked like, and how we got on. So take a look.
So we've got 3 days at Commonwood. We've been here since Paul bought the place, really, and we love coming back every year because it's continually developing the whole time. Trying to remove tiny silvers. There's just stacks. All the lakes are really productive. Loads and loads of fish. And again, as with a lot of the places we go to, it's these small fish that cause the problems. Recruitment's great. Serious recruitment of bream and roach in all these ponds. But you have to unfortunately make space. But luckily here there's lots and lots of lakes. We just continually keep moving them around, putting them in like the junior pools and the match pools. But the trick is you're trying to create more of this, and to do that, to achieve quality. It's not all about carp. There's carp in most of these lakes, but there's huge amounts of untapped silverfish and big perch, as you'll see in the next couple of days, as well as monster carp. But to get more of these, you have to create space. Like we keep saying, every lake's different, but in these really productive, nutrient-rich pools, which are well maintained, they're going to produce tons of fish. So we want more and more quality roach like this to come through, and the easiest way to achieve that every year is to keep thinning out and just monitoring your water quality, doing a bit of feeding, all the basics, plenty of plants, and then you end up with lakes full of fish.
This is the biggest lake, the specimen lake. I think they run it as a syndicate. Nice sized lake, nice and open, plenty of light and air. You can see there's a nice ripple being whipped up across the lake out there. Plants really well planted from the off. So it looks really good. It's dug without netting in mind. So it's a bit of a challenge, so we've had to break it up into smaller sweeps. Big 200 metre sweep up one end there, up in that bay. Again, to remove silvers and remove any unwanted juvenile fish, really. Plenty of waters around the site to move them into and utilise them better elsewhere. So let's go and see how they're getting on.
lake's been partially drained. Lots and lots of silvers in here, and we always catch plenty. But we planted this. This is one of the lakes many years ago. I supplied the plants for this lake. It's burr reed, Glyceria, Carex, and some iris. As you can see, it's gone and done its job. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And I love this. It's totally done its job. It's protected the margin because it was planted straight away as soon as the lake was done. Nice and high, but they don't encroach. It's just a nice thick margin. And as you can see from here, where you've got the plants where there isn't, where it goes into where there's a peg and there's exposed bank, you can see the erosion damage under there, just where there's been left. But you can't beat the, like I say, I'd rather have margins, especially on fisheries like this. Everywhere is different. But lakes like this, where it's a day ticket, it's an awesome day ticket fishery, ram full of fish, all of them. But in a managed way. So yes, there's lots of fish, but doing stuff like this, and feeding and maintenance and all that sort of thing means you can hold a lot of quality fish, as you'll see in the video. But having these amount of it's great habitat. Obviously, all the benefits we keep preaching on about, and a combination of a bit of supplementary feeding when you've got these high densities of fish, cropping every year, decent plant management, and all those simple things. And we do, like I say, we bang on about it, but it's because it works. It's because the more people that see the results of these simple fishery management techniques rather than stuff that we don't tend to do ourselves, then they get the results. And this is a classic example of that. The fish here thrive every year. Obviously there's always stuff you can do. There's always more improvements on every bit of water, but it's just one little example of how decent plants can transform the fishery, because without them it'd just look shit.
So that was our trip at Commonwood this year. So pretty much the same story every year. Loads of silvers to get out. They're very productive clay ponds. You can see that they've got it right from the off. They had Andy in when those lakes were just grass fields. So obviously Andy's always preaching about planting the margins, and they've done that very well there right from the off. And you can see the plants are really flourishing there. If you didn't do that, then you'd end up with juncus and bulrush, which are present. They're already they are established on site, but they would be completely dominant pretty much by now. If you didn't get those useful plants in, then you'd end up having in sort of encroaching plants like bulrush and juncus, which don't encroach. Juncus don't encroach so much. They just tend to sort of ball up and don't really offer much in the way of bank protection or any sort of nutrient uptake like riparia and the burr reed. So yeah, and the iris, of course, they've got plenty of iris there, which is beautiful in sort of early summer when they start to flower. You can't beat iris, and they tend to stick to the banks very well. And yeah, that's very important for Commonwood there. This year we finally managed to persuade them to drain the lake, that one that we did there, because they had the fishing wasn't quite as good as other years this year, and purely we think just down to the plant structure is so good that you're getting those tiny little 2 to 4 inch roach, or those sort of fish, those size fish that will hide in those reeds. You don't get big fish hiding them, which is why we like them really, because they don't offer much refuge for big fish, which obviously people want to catch, but they do offer cover for smaller juvenile fish. So if you want to get them out, we need to drop that water level below that reed line to get those fish into areas that we can catch them, because obviously they're hiding in those reeds away from cormorants and any other predators. So yeah, that is the only thing. If you've got, although reeds, that level of planting that they've got around those lakes, all the lakes there are really well planted. Those plants offer a great sort of buffer for nitrate uptake, to absorbing the nutrient that otherwise might be used by an algal bloom. It might feed an algal bloom in the summer. Having that level of plants around the lakes really absorbing up all the nitrate and the food waste within the lakes is giving you consistent water quality right through the summer up at Commonwood. So yeah, really impressive. The only thing they haven't done this year, because they've sort of focused on the developing the sort of tourism side of the business and the holiday sort of market, if you like. they haven't been feeding so much this year, if at all. So the fish, although they've kept in great condition because we correct the biomass every year, they could, if they fed a little bit more, those fish would be pushing on really well now. And they've got some useful stock ponds there which haven't really been utilised this year just because they purely have been so busy with other developments on site. But so yeah, that was it for this week. I was back in the mill for the rest of the week, and I believe next week we're back out again. So hopefully we'll have some interesting content for you next week.